So after around 3 years on YouTube talking about porn addiction and nofap, I'm really excited to share that I am going to be going beyond porn addiction and we're going to be talking about a lot of new exciting stuff. So let's sort of start off with a bit of the journey and I want to just share kind of how things have been. So my first video was in December 2021, talking about relapsing, talking about nofap, talking about how terrible I felt, and it's just a very honest feeling. I set up on YouTube to share my journey, I suppose, of quitting pornography and talk about nofap. And I'd watched other people talk about it, and I thought, you know what, maybe I can raise a bit of awareness and help people. And also, I always had the vision of setting up a coaching business for myself as well. But if I'm truly honest with myself, between 2021 and 2023, I didn't really have much of a clue. I was just following what all the other nofap YouTubers were saying, doing the self-improvement stuff, hitting the gym, meditating, journaling, and all of that. And none of it really helped me quit porn. I did get better in terms of, going on the nofap streaks and longer streaks, but none of it actually helped me permanently quit porn. And really, I don't think back then I even saw that as a possibility. I often thought, maybe if I can get this down to once every few months, it won't be a problem. But that's just not what happens, because you end up relapsing and you feel absolutely terrible once again. So what happened for me is that in December 2023, someone got in touch with me, a woman called Mary Paulus, founder of the Beyond Compulsion method. And this was like an absolute revelation, because Mary's actually worked in addiction recovery since 1990. And what she did is she took a really different approach to me. She kind of noticed that I had all these thought patterns that had developed over a number of years, very unhealthy thought patterns around nofap and around quitting porn. And she just told me how it was. And she changed my way of thinking through the Beyond Compulsion method. So what I did is I learned to get out of deprivation thinking. I wrote my remember letter. I created a script that actually changed the addictive neural pathways. And I was able to overcome this problem for good. The key thing about Mary is she saw through all of the sort of bullshit thinking that I had, all the excuses, rationalizations, justifications. And it was really, really hard at first, because I remember her basically calling me out really on my BS and telling me, you know what, you do have a problem here. And writing that remember letter where you actually talk about how much it's impacting your life was really difficult. So, yeah, it definitely took some time to kind of come around to Mary's way of thinking and understanding the addicted part of the mind and see how I'd been lying to myself for so many years. But was it worth it? Absolutely. Because here is where I am now. This is just like a photo of me with some friends a few days ago. And there was no thinking in my head going on around porn. There was no thinking of like, oh, if I have a few beers then I'm going to want porn. It was just like total freedom. And that's the same with any behaviour now. I just feel totally in control of myself at all moments of every day. And what I've realised is actually porn wasn't really the problem. The problem is the thought patterns I had that led to the porn. And I just had so many thought patterns which I'd picked up for many years of listening to other people's advice that were actually being really, really detrimental in terms of helping me quit porn. They were actually having a massively negative impact on my life. And by changing those thought patterns, I was able to change how I felt and change how I acted. So what are the next steps for me? Well, as I say, started off in December 2021, going to nofap, knew one day I wanted to have a coaching business, knew one day I wanted to help people. And through that journey, I learned a lot. And finally, through meeting Mary and being taught the Beyond Compulsion method, I'm really, really excited to announce, I suppose, that we are going to be opening up to helping people with all kinds of compulsions, whether it's food, drugs, gambling, whatever it is, because the thought patterns that underpin and lead to these compulsions, these addictions, whatever you want to call it, are very, very similar. And what we've found from working with clients from all over is that often porn is the issue at first, but then they've also been substituting the porn out for food or other compulsive behaviours. And what we want to do is help people think in really reasonable, rational ways so that they never feel out of control. And instead, they're always feeling in control, certain of themselves, and just knowing exactly what is too much, what is too little, and knowing how to be in control of their life and their destiny and really moving in the right direction. So I'm really, really excited for this change in terms of going beyond compulsion, both for myself, which I feel like I'm at already, and now just sharing this method with more people so they can install this new mindset, a different way of thinking, which goes against all the sort of no-fap advice and goes against all the sort of Instagram models with all their dieting and tricks and hacks, which change all the time. And instead, it's just about being reasonable, knowing what's reasonable, and changing addictive neural pathways correctly using a very, very specific script that you can read through and think through urges whenever you have a compulsive desire. So thanks a lot for watching. You can find me at thomasmolyneux.com. You can find Mary at beyondcompulsion.com. If you want to get in touch or check out what we have in terms of helping people, our services, or if you just want to find out more. So I hope this video helps you in some way. I hope you can learn that actually there is hope in terms of going beyond compulsion and quitting any addiction, and that help is here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.